my best co-teacher ever, who's also our accompanist, Miss Irina Chelnikova, who is moving all of our 6th graders right now. You will also see a couple of other musicians up here tonight. We have Mr. Jose Delgado on piano when Miss Chelnikova is not on piano. On drums tonight. You'll see in the program that we also had a guitarist, Mr. Kevin Grudecki, but he got this amazing job at Birdland this weekend in New York City, which for a jazz musician is like the best of the best. So we thought, well, sure, I guess you can go to that instead of come here. So we're very happy for Kevin, but we will not have him tonight here with us. But our band is phenomenal, and we hope you enjoy that. You'll see right now that the 6th grade chorus is making their way onto the stage. The 6th grade chorus is combined of 2 separate classes of kids. So they never rehearse together. The only time they've met together is for our winter concert in December, and then today is their first time. And obviously this is their first time singing at LHS on this stage. We had about an hour and 41-ish minutes to put our concert together tonight for you, and I think you will be pleasantly surprised. They have done a fantastic job this year. They have grown. You will hear their musical growth. You will also see their maturity growth, how they are on stage, how they interact with the audience, how they can stand still and look at the audience without fidgeting. These are all skills that we work on besides singing. So you will see our 6th grade perform 2 songs tonight. Their first piece is a wonderful piece called I See Colors. We focused mainly on rhythms in this song. It has some really, really tricky rhythmic interactions, and they have done a fantastic job with that. And our second piece is Cantar, which they will be singing in Spanish. I think we are almost up here. I am going to ask that any person who does not have a seat, there is overflow seating in the Commons. There's a large screen. LexMedia is recording this, and they are showing it right in the Commons. You might have to sit with a few 8th graders, but it's much better than standing for an hour and a half. So if anyone is looking for a seat, we do have overflow seating in the Commons. And they are also saying there are seats up on the balcony, which I'm so excited this year. We are good with our seats. So enjoy I See Colors.
What you see when you look around.
to try and move each group as quickly as we possibly can tonight. So we chose 2 of the best of our pieces from each of the groups. Some of the groups have 3 to showcase tonight. So you can really get a sense of what this program is. What does it look like from 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade to the select ensembles, and then to, at the end, hear the finale. So we always start with our 6th graders. They did a phenomenal job tonight. They're going to head back to their seats. And 8th grade women's choir, let's start to come on. So girls just wait right there until they start moving. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about 8th grade women's choir while we keep transitioning. Women's choir next year is actually going to be called treble choir at Diamond. We've changed names of men's choir and women's choir. So if your child was going into 8th grade and they said, oh, I signed up for women's choir, they're actually going to be in what we call treble choir next year. It's the same thing, the only thing that changed is the name. So 8th grade women's choir currently is a elective class, just like all of the other choirs. They don't have to audition to be in it. These are people who want to be in a singing class that is specifically for treble voices, meaning their voices are on the higher end. So they come 2 days a week. They are just one ensemble, unlike our 6th grade and our 7th grade, which are multiple groups, and this group always meets together. We have been working all year on dealing with the changing voice that women go through, that females, their voices do change, and learning how to use their voices in the best way possible and in the safest way possible. So you'll see actually we have 3 songs on our list tonight. We're actually going to cut enough music. We just weren't ready, and the goal is to showcase the best of the best, and that's okay. It's been kind of a crazy spring with the trips and all kinds of interruptions. So we're going to start with Count the Stars this evening, and then we will end with a really fun Mamma Mia medley. And our soloist on Mamma Mia is going to be Miss Jessica Dye. So 8th grade women's choir is moving on now. Before we begin, our student Ellie Caro would like to give you a little bit of information and what our thoughts are behind Count the Stars.
Yes, our first song, Count the Stars, is dedicated to Mrs. Janet Hawes, who passed away earlier this year. Mrs. Hawes was not only an outstanding teacher, but a very kind soul. In each one of her classes, she always put her students at top priority and only wanted the best for every one of us.
go down and straight towards the back door and then walk around to the commons. 7th grade chorus, there's a tricky row that you've got to figure out right there, and then I think we are good. And which way is it going to come out? This way or that way? You know where you're going? Move, 7th grade. Don't go until your row has gone in front of you. These are things we work on in an hour and a half. With 438 of them, that's half of Diamond. So go, yep, step, 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 and go all the way over. So I know we make it look really simple, but moving this many kids in this short amount of time says a lot about them. Because it takes a lot of focus to be able to do that. And man, did they do a great job this afternoon. It was hard, but we did it. And these transitions, so far, so good. Real good. So 7th grade chorus is moving on stage. And 7th grade chorus, like 6th grade chorus, meets in 2 different sections. These sections never practice together, ever, until we get to the days of the concert. So we have a giant section that meets on Mondays and Wednesdays, and that also has in it about 40 kids that only come 1 day a week because they are also in band and orchestra. So that happens with 6th grade chorus as well. So those kids only come to chorus 1 day a week. The other kids do come twice. Then we have a teeny tiny little section of about 40 that meet on Tuesdays and Fridays. And they're just a teeny tiny little class, but full of energy. You never know there's only 40 of them. In a good way, for sure. So as they are moving on, we are gonna get ready to do 2 pieces for you. The first piece that we're gonna do actually has multiple movements. It's in Spanish, and these 3 Spanish pieces represent songs about the elements. So the first piece that we're going to do is called Escuchar al Viento, and this one, some 7th graders shout out what escuchar is about. About what? Oh, okay, they missed the wind part. Yes, the wind, listen to the wind. The second movement is La Lluvia, and what is La Lluvia about? The rain. And our third and last movement is called Fuego, and that is? Fire! So not only should you be able to hear different language, you should be able to hear these different elements represented in the music that they're singing by the way that they are singing. Cross your fingers. Also, when you do a piece that has multiple movements, unless the conductor's hands go down, the audience should not do what? Clap. You guys are so smart here in Lexington.
Escuchar
choir. Shh. Talking about you. That they are able to add an extra part in. Sometimes they even add 2 extra parts in. So in 6th grade, they're mainly singing in 2 parts. Sometimes we have a 3rd part, we call it a descant line, and they're really, really solid on that. You'll hear in the 7th grade that the voices start to change for the boys, and we can then add a full-on, have the boys have their own line. Most of the times we call it part 3, and sopranos and altos will change between part 1 and part 2. But in 7th grade, they're consistently working in 3-part music, so that by the time they get to 8th grade, they're solid in 3 parts and can easily move in and out of 4 parts if need be. So as 7th grade is moving off and back to their seats, the next group that is coming on is the 8th grade men's choir. Like the 8th grade women's choir, this is just an elective class. If your 7th grader has said, oh, I want to sign up for, or I did sign up for men's choir, you will notice that the men's choir name has changed, the same as women's choir. And next year, men's choir will be called Cambiata Choir. And Cambiata is our musical term for the changing voice. How appropriate. So in men's choir, we are working with usually 3 parts, tenor 1, tenor 2, baritone some days, tenor 2, baritone bass some days. Someday we got all basses. We don't know what we're gonna get some days when we walk into men's choir, and that is exactly why we have this choir. It's really important that they have a place to sing where they can feel like, oh yeah, my voice cracked. Oh, yours too? Cool, awesome. And it's just what it is, and it's not a big deal, and they can make amazing music, pun intended, 7th grade. And you will hear what they're gonna do tonight. I am so proud of this group. Talk about growth. When we started in the fall to where we are now, they have amazed me. And these 23 boys in 8th grade will be singing 3 songs for you tonight. The first piece will be a contemporary pop tune called Home. And it is Philip Phillips did it. He was an American Idol a long time ago. You may recognize it. And what we talk about in here is that, yeah, a song may be great, and we might start it, and it might sound terrible. And I'll go, okay, it's not you. It's because it's in a terrible key for all of you. So we took this, it was in a different key, we took it and we transposed it into a new key. And all of a sudden we did it, and they were like locking into these incredible harmonies, and they're like, oh yeah, this sounds really good. So our first piece will be Home. Our second piece will be completely different. It will be an English madrigal, and it is called My Bonnie Lass. So completely different style of singing. We worked very much on the technique of this and how it sounds different from a pop tune. And then their final piece today will be The Best Day of My Life. And I'm going to dedicate this to Nate. I'll come back to you. 8th grade chorus. This 8th grade chorus part on this song actually was a 4-part piece, and I just wanted a better balance of sound. So I taught this piece to them as well, and now they're gonna sing it. This is called The Cuckoo, is the first of the 8th grade songs. Then 8th grade men's choir will leave, unless they're also in the 8th grade chorus. And then they will sing Plaudite. Like the 6th grade, we've been working on a lot of rhythmic stuff this year. It's been one of our goals as a department to start using the same language. And so with our 2 pieces, you'll hear a lot of clapping, a lot of intricate rhythms, and we used all of that language that we've been working on as a department and put it into our pieces that you'll hear tonight. So once they are on, we will start with the cuckoo, and then we will finish up with Plaudite. out and they're readjusting, I just want to talk a little bit about sound that you'll hear. So you'll hear a difference in the 8th grade chorus from even the 7th grade and even the 6th grade. Voices start to deepen, sound gets fuller and rounder. It's not because one is better than the other, it's all developmental. It's what happens as they grow. And this is the point of tonight. So the point is for you to be able to see this and hear this. For you to be able, because many of you as 8th grade parents don't remember when your kids were in 6th grade, and you're like, oh yeah, they've always sounded like, no they didn't. And they were wonderful in 6th grade, but it was a completely different sound. And what they are capable of as they grow, and you will, those of you who have kids who are gonna sing at the high school, in this incredible program that we have here with Jason Iannuzzi, you will hear it even more, because I listen to these 8th graders and I think, wow, that sounded so big. And then you get to the high school and it's a completely different sound. Again, not better, just developmentally different. So thank you for putting up with all of these transitions tonight. Thank you for putting up with the limited seating and dealing with all of these extras. But I hope you can see, why we're doing this. It's also amazing for the kids to get to see each other and see what's coming. What do they have to look forward to? That last piece, the cuckoo, you'll notice their vowels were much brighter than you'll hear on this next song. That's because that piece is an Appalachian piece. They would not have sung with these perfectly tall, rounded English vowels. That's not stylistically appropriate. So we worked a lot on that and the deeper sound and the scoops and the slides. And you'll hear something completely different with them singing in Latin on Plaudite. as the 8th grade chorus is leaving, the next group on is the D minors. The D minors is the select chorus ensemble at Diamond. This is an auditioned group. It is made up of 7th and 8th grade singers. Students in 8th grade have to just be singing in at least one ensemble, one day a week. So many of them also play an instrument. So they're going to chorus one day and maybe orchestra the next. Same thing with 7th graders. Just one day a week is all that's required. This group, about 120 kids audition on average each year, and the group is somewhere between 45 and 48 students. We practice 2 days a week before school. So kids are at rehearsal at 6:50, 6:55, 7:01 on occasion. But I love it because today I was like, what is this? The rule is you have to bring in a note. And today's note came on a tissue. But it was a note, and they know the rules, and that was awesome. The group that's up here is the D minors. This year, we were fortunate enough to take a trip to Orlando, Florida, to a competition, and we performed 2 songs for judges, and these kids scored 96.5 points out of 100 possible points in all of the classes. Of the competition, these amazing students walked away with first place with a superior rating, which is as high as you can get. They also walked away with best overall middle school choir, and they walked away with the Esprit de Corps award, which to me means more than any other award. This is the first time, this is my 17th, 18th year at Diamond running the D minors, and this is the first time we have ever won this award. It showed sportsmanship. And it really speaks to the character of these humans. I never once worry about them going anywhere. They represented us at all times to the best possible way. And we had an incredible trip. While I'm at it, some of my chaperones are actually here tonight on their night off. They don't have to be here. But I want to send a special shout out to Josh Seidman, who's back with the 8th graders right now. Miss Taylor Casey, who came on her night off to the concert. Miss Irina Chelnikova was with us. And our 8th grade guidance counselor, Miss Sharon May, was also with us. She's not here tonight, but that's okay. They were really fantastic, and I'm just so proud of the work they've done this year. As I am with all of my choirs, this one just happens to get a trophy for the work they've done. All of my groups really deserve trophies for certain days of work and the effort and the focus and commitment that they put into this program. We are going to actually do 4 songs. We added one this morning, sorry. You know, I'm always trying to give them as much music as I possibly can because they need it and they learn it very quickly, and I try and get as many different styles as possible. So we threw in one called Shoujo-ji, which is actually a traditional Japanese folk song that they're going to do a cappella for us, and so we're going to start with that. Then we will move on to In Flanders Fields, and I just briefly want to read you what In Flanders Fields is. This is actually a poem that was written by John McCrae, and so I'm just going to read this. Apologies for my reading. In Flanders Fields is one of the best known and often quoted poems from World War I. It was written by Canadian physician Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae after presiding over the funeral of friend and fellow soldier Lieutenant Alexis Helmer, who was killed in action. According to the legend, fellow soldiers retrieved the poem after McCrae, initially dissatisfied with his work, had discarded it in frustration and anguish. Fortunately, it was eventually accepted for publication in the London magazine Punch in December that year. The poem's references to the red poppies that grew over the graves of the fallen soldiers has evolved into the remembrance poppy, which has become the world's most recognized memorial symbol to honor those who have died in conflict. So we honor our service members tonight as we sing In Flanders Fields. We did that one in competition, and obviously they did a really nice job of it. And the other two pieces will be Cripple Creek, which is another Appalachian folk song, and we will end with Wheels of a Dream from one of my very favorite musicals, Ragtime. Enjoy the D minor.
Shop, chop, chee, shop, chop, chee, shop, chop, chee, shop, chop, chee. Going up
watch as we have people coming in through all of these aisles. Do not block the aisles if possible. As they are coming in, I want to take a minute to say a bunch of thank yous. Shh. Singers, I need you to be as quiet as possible. First, a huge thank you, huge thank you to the department head for performing arts, Mr. Jared Cassidy, for being here, for being so supportive, and an amazing, fantastic department head this year. We are so lucky we got him. I want to also, once again, I know I've said it a bunch, but big shout out to our band, Mr. Jose Delgado, Mr. Zach Hardy on drums. Thank you to Diamond Administration. I know Miss Liz Sharp is here. Thank you for being here on your night off. Thank you to Miss Jen Turner. I think Principal Turner is here tonight. Thank you to my backstage chaperones. I couldn't do this job tonight with this new setup out here with people everywhere. My bestie, Miss Kate Bromley. Woo! Thank you to Miss Irina Chalmakova, who is my right hand, my partner in crime, the best colleague ever. We're still filing in. Oh, I almost forgot. Our custodial staff at LHS, thank you to them. And huge thank you to Mr. John DePerna. Our technical director who sets all this up, runs our microphones, turns on our lights, gets us what we need. He is such a gift to Lexington Performing Arts Department. Before we end, you will hear our finale piece. It's called This Is Me. Sums us all up pretty well. I told the kids, the reason we do this, the reason we perform, the reason we sing, we make music, our job is to give the audience a gift and for you to walk away and feel something at the end of the night. If you don't feel something after this, I don't know. You need to check your blood pressure, okay? We have a bunch of soloists tonight. We have Ava Raccanelli, a 6th grader, who's gonna start us off. Goes to Miss Rachel Yin, an 8th grader. Our 7th grader, CJ Reamer. Our 8th grader, Dylan Whitman. 7th grader, Ava DeSerba. And 8th grader, Sanvi Mamai. We are almost on, and you will get surround sound tonight for those of you down here. I almost forgot one thing. I know it's one thing after another. I have some former students here tonight from the high school who are running this incredible program called the Acapella Workshop. And it is offering multiple weeks during the summer. If anyone wants information about the Acapella Workshop, please see me. I've got flyers I can send out. You can find them. Harris Erdman and Adam Bernstein, are you in here in the house? There they are. So there you go. Go chase them down at the end of the night if you want information. They've set up a great program. If your kid loves to sing, they need to do this, okay? So, thank you. I hope you have figured out where you're going to meet your kid at the end of the night, because I told them that was their job, to work that out with you. Before any of you leave, we're going to get rid of all of them. So if you can just make sure you stay seated, audience members, we'll let the kids go, and then I will dismiss the audience. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you've had a great night, and we've made some great music together. Enjoy. This is me.